Very, very good evening, friends. Today, I thought of sharing the summary of 10-minute summary of a very great book, which has been told by my real brother who is staying in Kolkata, and he saw my few of the videos, and he told me that I have made good videos on the summary of multiple books. So he suggested me to give the summary of one of the great books, and he suggested me to take Prakash Iyer's book with the title called "How Come No One Told Me That." So it is basically a life lesson, practical advice, and a timeless wisdom for the success. That is the whole summary of this particular book. Yeah. So before further ado, let me just tell you about Prakash Iyer. Prakash Iyer is one of the renowned authors from India, and he has written multiple books. This is one of the great books from him, which talks about how come no one told me that, which means that there are certain points which he is trying to cover in this book, and those points which he has supported with the examples. Let me give you the complete story of this whole book, which is confined to around about 300 400 pages in just 10 minutes, in somewhere around maximum 10 to 15 minutes. So isn't it good? So this is a great strategy which I feel will help those people who are not in a situation to give sufficient time for themselves, and not able to give time for their reading. So they can just log into my videos and click the my videos and get the summary of this book with the examples. So that is what it is. So let us dive into the transformation uh, through the wisdom of Prakash Iyer, through a book which is called "How Come No One Told Me That." So this video is basically about it. It actually uncovers the key life lessons with real life stories and practical insights to inspire personal growth. Actually, this is for the cultivation of your positive attitude, achieve success in your life, and be a great human being. That is the whole summary of this particular book. So let me start one by one. So there are, around about multiple points, but I have divided these points into 20 parts. And all these 20 parts I will support with some examples. Yeah. So the first point which Prakash Iyer is talking about in his book is he says that you need to be very positive while embracing failure. Because, whenever you're doing anything in life, either you will get success or you will get learning. I'm not repeating, I'm not saying failure, because either you will succeed or you will learn. You will not fail. So what he is saying is failure is the stepping stone for any success in life. He has given the example of Thomas Edison. He said that Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he inventing the light bulb. So actually he has not failed 10,000 times, rather he has learned 10,000 ways by which one cannot make electric bulb. Let me directly jump to the second point. It says the importance of attitude. Attitude is something which is so very much important for your growth in career, that a positive attitude can have, it has that kind of power that it can change your life. Now let me give you some examples, specifically Walt Disney, which everyone knows. Yeah. Walt Disney was literally fired for lacking imagination. Can you imagine? He was fired from his job by lacking imagination before he created Disney, the most creative and imaginative word for you, me, and everyone. So that is what is called as the power of attitude. Now, let me jump to the third point. He says that continuous learning is something which ought to be a part of your life. So never stop learning and never stop growing. He has given the example of Bill Gates. He said, Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Not He has not read in 1 year. Across years, he has ensured that he reads 50 books to step up his cognizance about the market, step up his cognizance about the subject he is in, and step up his cognizance about how he can develop himself as a great human being. So that's the step number 3. The step number 4 for the book is the power of persistence. It says that you need to keep growing even when the things are tough. It is always said, there's a phrase which says that when tough gets going, only those people who are tough, they will be able to continue in that journey. So he has given the example of J.K. Rowling, who faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter was published. Harry Potter was the book which is one of the greatest and highly sold books across the world. Yeah, J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections by most of the publishers, but when he published this book, he got not only the acceptance across the globe, but publishers who refused him started offering tons of millions of money to him to associate with him. So that is what is called as power of persistence. Then can jump to importance of relationship. He says that when you build and nurture any relationship, it has to have a meaning in it. So whatever relationship you are building in, it has to be a meaningful relationship. He has given the example of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who was a co-founder of Apple due to their strong partnership. Today, Apple is one of the greatest, biggest, and the largest organizations in the world. So it is only because of the relationship and the rapport which Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak holds between them. That is how they are able to continue this organization and have taken this organization to the zenith of anyone's aspiration. Now, let me jump to the next point. It says, be a problem solver. So, when you are a problem solver, your approach towards the challenges, it changes. Yeah, your approach changes with a solution oriented mindset. You will always think from the perspective of bringing out solution. You will not think from the perspective of the challenges you have. You will not think from the perspective of the lacunas you have. You will not think from the perspective of what you don't have. You will think from the perspective of what you have in hand that will give you a solution oriented mindset. Let me quote the example of Elon Musk, who created SpaceX to solve space travel challenges when it comes to problem solver point, which was measured by, mentioned by Prakash Iyer. Then he has talked about the adaptability. He said that you have to have a very flexible and very open nature towards any change. The most important thing which he has touched upon is that change is the only constant thing in the world. If you don't change as per the situation, you will not be able to adapt to that changing environment, and you will be adamant. If you are adamant, then you will be, outdated from this competitive era. Yeah. He has given the example of Netflix. He said Netflix actually shifted from DVD rentals to streaming services, which again, you, me, and everyone is actually seeing in their day to day life. Yeah. So, next point he has referred is effective communication. He said that communication is something which has to be very clear, and you ought to listen to the person who is speaking and talking to you very actively. That is what he has shared. He said that your communication has to be very effective. When you are speaking, then it has to be very effective, and when you are listening, then you should ensure that whatever conversation you're holding with the person with whom you are interacting ought to be effective one. And what he's quoting the example of a great lady called Oprah Winfrey. He said Oprah Winfrey's success is partially due to her excellent communication skill. Of course, she had a lot of other skills. She had a lot of humorous skill, creative skill, personality skills, quoting different kind of examples. But most important thing, one of the most important thing which Oprah had and which made her great lady across the globe was her communication skills. Yeah. The next point is self belief. It says belief in yourself and your abilities is something which is the stepping stone for you to grow in your career. He has given the example of Michael Jordan. He said Michael Jordan believed in his skills even after being cut from his high school team. He was cut out from the high school team, but he has set an example for all those failure sports people that even if you're out of your team, if you still hold courage, if you still hold commitment, dedication, devotion towards whatever you want to do in your life, you can always, overbeat all those people who with whom you are being currently compared. So the next point, what he has touched upon is the take responsibility. He said that you need to own your actions and their outcomes. That is so very important for me, you, and everyone. That whenever you will have to take the responsibility, you cannot blame somebody else for whatever outcome it is, whether it is negative, positive, or whatever it is. You have to have responsibility, holding capability. You have to have responsibility and owning power towards the actions and the outcomes what are there out of your deeds. So what example he quoted, he quoted the example of Abraham Lincoln. He said he took responsibility for the outcome of the civil war. That is because of the Abraham Lincoln's responsibility with he outcomes for the Civil War of that particular time. Then he told about the time management. He said that manage your time wisely and prioritize the task effectively. Because if you don't manage your time and don't prioritize the task, you will be mixing even smaller things, unimportant things. You will be mixing with the important things and very important things and other urgent things. Yesterday in my video, I had spoken about one quadrant with you, which is talking about the urgent versus important graph in life. You need to plot the graph in life. What are those jobs which they're so very urgent and so very important that you need to take it on very high priority. Those tasks which are not urgent, not important, do it at the last of whenever you are at your least ease. Yeah. Then he talked about mindfulness. He said that you will have to stay present and mindful in whatever you do. He said that if you are not, while you are speaking, while you are presenting, like for example, I'm presenting with you. If I'm not staying present with you, I'm just, trying to tell you my point without even thinking, and I'm not mindful. In that condition, I will not be able to make a good presentation in front of you. I will not be able to retain you as my audience. So he gave the example of practicing mindfulness. It says that Steve Jobs, he always practiced mindfulness in bringing out creativity to whatever he did. Because of his great practice over mindfulness, he was able to create a lot of good things in life. And he talked about gratitude. He said that you need to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. So, gratitude is something, it is a kind of journaling which improved the well being of many, including once again Oprah Winfrey. Gratitude is something which she had. I'm talking about Oprah Winfrey, which has actually made her acceptable globally in the eyes of everyone. Then he said you need to go for taking action. So you need to take decisive action to achieve your goals. What happens is many a time in many organization, the leaders they sit on the job, they keep on sitting on the job, they keep on holding the problem, and that they linger on, which not only impairs the business, but it impairs, it start impacting the overall health of the business as well. So I would give you the example, which I'm not giving. Prakash Iyer has given. He has said that Jeff Bezos, who took action to start Amazon in his garage, had he not thought of taking his business to the next level, he would not have started from the garage. Jeff Bezos thought that I will make this business the greatest logistic business across the globe. That small dream started and began from a small garage. That is what is called as you ought to take actions in your life. So action is something which is so very important. Let me talk about the second last point of this. I will thereafter I'll give you the summary of whatever I've shared. So he says that learn from others. Many a time, what happens is we always feel that we are quite learned, we are quite affluent, we are quite intelligent enough to understand the subject well. My dear friends, learning from those who have already had those kind of failures in the same business is something which is easy opportunity for you to grab. If you learn from somebody else's mistake, possibility is that you need not to repeat that mistake. You need not to experience that mistake yourself. You can rather save your time, money, and effort. So he gave the example of Mark Zuckerberg. He said he learned from Steve Jobs and other successful enterprises how to run business. So Mark Zuckerberg, he learned from the other successful people success and their failure as an entrepreneur, and he took that learning into his business and made his business one of the greatest business across the world. Then he talked about you have to have a nature which is called down to earth. You have to be very humble, stay grounded, stay fundamentally strong, and stay humble no matter whatever success you hold, how much rich you are, how much big you are, how much bank balance you have, how much is the sheer size of your organization. You have to be very humble in nature. So, gave the example of despite his success, Warren Buffett lived a moderate lifestyle. He lived a lifestyle of a very simple, despite tons of in his bank account. Yeah? And the last but not the least, after this, I'll the complete summary in 2 minutes. He said that you need to set clear goals. So when you set clear goals, you which are achievable goals, the possibility for you to establish a road plan to achieve those goals is going to be very very high, because you are planning your path in a very very designed and effective manner. He gave the example of Serena Williams. He said that she sets clear goals for her tennis career. Whenever she got into the tennis world, she not only planned well, but she had learned from her mistakes, and that is why every time she, before entering into the tennis court, she had set clear goals, that what she is going to do this time, how she is going to forego those kind of mistakes which she has done, and how she is going to take those mistakes as a next learning milestone for her own learning. Yeah. So let me put the complete summary once again. The first point which Prakash Iyer said is, you need to embrace failure. Failure is a stepping stone to success. You have to have a positive attitude, because a positive attitude can change your life. He said you have to have a continuous learning, because never stop learning attitude is something which will help you grow in your career. Then persistence. He said that you need to keep growing even when things are tough. Then relationship. Build and nurture meaningful relationship. Then problem solving. Approach challenges with a solution oriented mindset. Then he talked about adaptability. He said you have to be very flexible and open enough for the change. He said you will have to have effective communication, because when you communicate clearly and you listen actively, possibility for you to sell your point is very very high. He spoke about the self belief. He said belief in yourself and your ability is the basic are those basic criterias for you to succeed in your life. Then he talked about responsibility. Own your actions and their outcome. He talked about time management. Manage your time wisely and prioritize your task. Mindfulness. Stay present and mindful in whatever you are doing. Gratitude. You need to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, and you need to take actions, specifically decisive actions, to achieve your goals in life. And you need to learn from others. When you learn from the experiences of others, you need not to taste the same failure again. So you can actually save time, money, and efforts. So, and then stay humble, stay grounded, stay humble, no matter whatever is your success in your hand. Then last but not the least is set clear goals, set clear objective and achievable goals. Let me tell you, my dear friends, I would like to close this presentation with a small Hindi phrase which says कि भैया, जब आपको ऐसा लगे जीवन में कि आपने बहुत कुछ अचीव कर लिया है, आप बहुत समझदार हो गए हैं, आप बहुत अमीर हो गए हैं, आपके पास सब कुछ है, आपकी एक्सेप्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, आपके रिलेशनशिप ऐसे हैं कि दुनिया में कोई भी आपको हरा नहीं सकता, तो मेरे दोस्त, शमशान चले जाना, आपसे बड़े-बड़े लोग भी वहाँ राख हुए पड़े हैं। इसलिए ये जो ग्रीड है ना जीवन की, ये जो घमंड है ना जीवन का, ये आपको आज नहीं तो कल बनना राख है। इसलिए दोस्तों, इंसान बनो, बी ह्यूमन फर्स्ट। दैट इज़ द intention of my objective, my intention and my objective of this particular channel. So from my behalf, I would like to thank you from the core of my heart to all my audience to be with me and to keep seeing my videos and invest their valuable time, because in today's era the most costliest thing is time. If you are giving time to me to listen to what I'm saying, it means I have borrowed the most costliest thing from you. From the core of my heart, I would like to thank you all for the kind of patience, love and care you have given to me. Keep associating with me, keep seeing my videos, and whatever, whenever you feel that there's something to guide me, something to mentor me, please don't hesitate. Please let me know how and where I can improve. So I shall be waiting for your feedback. I shall be waiting for your all suggestions. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day ahead. Shabba khair. Thanks a lot.